Hello, so this is my last video assignment, and on week 15 uh, with readings on trance dance and chapter 9 and 10 in Bodyfulness book, The Enlightened Body, and When Being Here Takes You There. And I'm mainly going to focus here on chapter 9 and the trance dance readings. Yeah, I really enjoyed the trance dance reading and learning about that, and also seeing, reading about the history of that in Christianity, where now it's kind of condemned and looked at as crazy, but at one point it was like a part of a ritual for Christians, and yeah, just like appreciate having that knowledge. And um while reading it, I was just like, I need to like do this. I need to. I also feel like sitting with plant medicine could help me more. I feel like I've really been struggling with life a lot, and in these negative in a negative place, and change seems really hard to access. And so as I was reading Trance Dance, I was just like, this seems like something that could like help bring about change that I'm like really needing. And then to like start reading the Bodyfulness book, and then to like read more about change. Um, I really appreciated. It's something that I can really apply in my life right now. Um, yeah, one thing that stood out to me is like the pressures of change. And there's pressure, pleasure, and inquiry. And yeah, I think the one that stood out the most for me is pressure. I feel like I'm feeling a lot of pressure of change in my life. One area that I feel this is in my relationships. And like, I had a really traumatizing partnership like 3 or 4 years ago or something. And I just like decided to be single for many years after that, and not like involve myself in romance, and just to like work on healing myself. And now that I'm just feeling ready for connection again. There's like all of this, what feels like new trauma showing up. And it could just be the reality that like I haven't been in these scenarios that really like activate my shadows, and now I'm um open to being in these scenarios, and I'm seeing like my relational shadows come out and my communication shadows come out, and I'm feeling this pressure. I'm like, I am emotionally unavailable. I'm like really overwhelmed by any kind of tension, anything I perceive as tension. There's like a lot of stories from traumatizing events that I just like carry. And I realize that if I don't change this, if I don't heal my trauma, if I don't learn to be a better communicator, if I don't change to actually become available for the people I love, I'm never going to be in a happy, satisfying, long-term relationship. Like, these things are so crucial to being in a healthy relationship. And I've been really sitting with that and this pressure of like, I'm gonna be alone if I don't change and heal my trauma. which feels really hard. It's like something I've worked on doing on my own for years. And as I like bring others into that, I'm like, whoa, like I feel like being in relation to others is a part of healing this trauma, and that it's not like that's not what it feels like. It feels like activating to that. And I guess that's just a first step and an invitation to bring compassion to that experience. But yeah, I really resonated with like the pressure to change and the practices. The essence was really like being with this. Like this is what my therapist like kind of told me to shoot. It was like something that we kind of really get to the core of why it's there, and that like frustrated me. But then like her advice was like, can I just like acknowledge that this is really hard, that these are like hard emotions to and like a hard reality to hold, of seeing that I hold a truth that I'm never going to be in a happy relationship how I am, and that I need to change if I want that. So yeah, there's the pressure for change, but I also think like part of that is the pleasure. And there's like some quote in here, Dalai Lama or someone who was like, all humans want to be happy. And my friend actually today was like telling me about a Harvard study that they did for like 15 years or something about like what makes humans happy. And like the conclusion was connection. And so in a way, it's, yeah, there's a motivation of pleasure to be happy, and another place in the pressure part of motivation was like not having community and not having friends. And I like feel this, like I've been here a whole semester and I like have really only made like one friend, and like not really invested into other connections to grow friendship. And it's where I'm at in my life, I'm realizing that like I need people, I need my community, I need support. Like it's life feels like really hard to do on my own. And there's like this reality that like I don't feel like I have people to like reach out to and be like, hey, I need support, without feeling guilty because I haven't like cultivated a relationship. So yeah, it's a pressure, and it's a pressure to like want to be happy, and then like moving into that motivation of pleasure, my contemplation went to how I'm so fixated on the negative, and how really um here we get our energy from three possible sources: being pushed, seeking pleasure, and being curious. Oh, okay, no, that's not it. Yeah, basically, okay, by reaching out actively to feel better in very conscious and conscious and conscientious ways, we change for the better. This is like really resonates with me. Like I feel that a practice that would really serve me is actively reaching out to feel better. And it's like that balance feels so confusing to me, or like there's not quite the whole balance there. As a child, I was very like toxically positive, and so and the healing journey of my adulthood has been learning to dive into the discomfort and be with the discomfort, and more of that inquiry, just bringing curiosity to it and allowing it to be there. And but I'm realizing that I can really stagnate in my misery and my suffering. I'm like, gotta feel to the core of it, but then I like stay. I stay in the depths and I stay miserable and I feed. That's what I choose to feed. And like my like elder landlord like gave me could like sense a heaviness in me the other day, and she was like, if there's like my advice to you from what I've learned in life is like put on the music and dance, like go for the walk, like feel, but like don't drown in it, like pull yourself out, like have the resources to pull yourself out. So I think like reaching out actively to feel better, choosing to like actively go to a song circle or go for a walk or make myself the meal instead of drinking raw milk for dinner because I whatever, like how can I be active in feeding what makes me feel good instead of just like diving into what makes me feel bad when that feels like the center of my reality. I feel like this is a place that I, yeah, have a lot to that I think could like benefit me. I have a lot of work to do there. Um, yeah, like the moving towards and away from things and like what that balance is. And I think that's like a lot of what body fullness is like, can I oscillate between the two? And like the part about the whitewater rafting and like learning to be one with nature and kind of like be like with yourself and what you can control and also like what you can't control in the waters and it's funny because like reading this I was like wow, like I had this experience the other day. I was in ceramics. It was my first day learning the wheel and I was so frustrated and like the professor was like telling me that I was like forcing there was like this forceful energy like and I was like trying to make the clay something like I wanted it to be something and I wanted it to like produce and I was like putting this pressure on it to like do that and then it would like collapse and like I wasn't being slow enough, I wasn't being gentle enough. I got really dysregulated, really overwhelmed, and something that we could say that when we don't have enough physical, emotional, or cognitive resources, we can't experience our connection to change events. In a disassociated state, we become quickly overwhelmed and can't actively engage with them. I really felt this. And so then the second class on the wheel, I was like, okay, my intention is not to produce a mug or a bowl. My intention is to stay regulated. And how do I do that? And like really returning to breathing, moving, sensing, relating. And with the relating to clay, it was like it was just like this profound moment of like this is like a living, breathing being who I'm co-creating with and like what do you want to become and like what do we want to create together and like through that shift I like was listening to the voice of the clay more and that like really helped me. That deeper listening helped me stay more in tune with myself and be in my body and in tune with the clay and its wisdom that was coming through and there was like a lot of space that opened up for reflecting about where else in my life this relationship to control and force is showing up in my relationships and in my external world and also in my internal world. And yeah, there were some like really beautiful breakthroughs there. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like my version of what this is speaking on here with um, you know, working with that is like the high quality intention, attention but also of like it's the high quality attention of what you're working with and also like you because you're like the other part of that collaborative exchange. um yeah, I really enjoyed the readings this week. Great, it's a great way to like um close like the readings from this semester. Um, yeah, there's I I think like another thing that I appreciate about this reading on change, I don't know, it kind of I'm like coming to the end of the semester, especially yeah, like really all of my classes, it's like there's a reflection that's more goal oriented that is like okay, what was my intention coming in and like did I achieve that or what have I achieved? What have I integrated like to achieve like oh, I got by and I passed the semester like that doesn't feel like an authentic investment for me like to feel like my time has been worthwhile. I want to like see how I'm integrating this into my life. My intention for this class was to refine my interoceptive art, like um, skill, to be more interoceptive and to be able to listen to my body deeper. And so I'm at this point of reflecting, did that happen? Do I feel more interoceptive awareness in my day-to-day life? Um, and it's not a big change that I can see. And so it's like that balance of like goal oriented and non-goal oriented. And um, I do see things that I have benefited from this class. And but yeah, like in a way, integration and change are like kind of in the same category. It's like there's a shifting that's happening through integrating this new information coming in. And yeah, that's may take time and, like healing from trauma and developing resources and identifying markers and building the habit of turning your intention inwards to see where your body is and even like the journey to being more present in my body in everyday life like these I think it's important for me to give myself compassion and patience because these aren't always easy for people depending on their history and yeah there's been a lot of need to be gentle with my reality and like what is coming up in me and coming out from me and um, yeah I also like really enjoyed this book, these readings, the way that there's practices. I feel like this is a book I like want to read again at some point, probably not while I'm a student because I probably won't have time for that, but like it is a really great resource to have and I feel really grateful for that. Yeah.